Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at Ask Adam Torres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have on the show Rafi Chowdhury, who is a recruiting manager over at Robert Half Technology. And this is one of our very special reunion 2020 episodes where I bring on guests that I had on in the past, and I like them so much I brought them right back. So first off, Rafi, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So great to have you back. We are catching up and glad to hear about what you're doing over at Robert Half Technology. And let's just kick it right off. So first off, tell us a little bit more about Robert Half Technology.
Sure. Robert Half is primarily a staffing firm. In particular, Robert Half Technology deals with, as the name suggests, technology recruiting. We work with the basically mid to small size businesses in the city, finding job needs, and then we try to represent the top 10% of talent in our city, and we match talent with open job positions. And in a nutshell, that's pretty much what we do. We're also in the coaching and developing business as well, on top of that, coaching and developing talent.
So I think that's a great transition. So top employers and what they're looking for in top talent. So now that you're on that side of the coin where you're helping to place top talent in big firms, what are some of the things that they look for?
Yeah, so the number one thing that I think talent should remember is that the resume gets you the conversation. If your resume isn't good, no matter how much talent you have or how well you presented it, if the resume doesn't have certain keywords or isn't structured in a certain way, you will never get to see or talk to the hiring manager. So that is the number one most important thing that we try to encourage talent, personnel to consider, is just making sure that your resume is structured in a way that it shows up in different types of searches. So making sure that top industry keywords that you have expertise in are represented in your resume, and not just listed, but also talking about how did you use that skill set in your professional setting. In something along the lines of how did you use it? What was your individual contribution? How did this work together as a team? And ultimately, what sort of results did you produce? How did you add money to the bottom line? How did it add, bottom line revenue for the company, or how did it save time or make a process more efficient, something of that type. And mentioning those keywords in that kind of a structure helps a lot in pulling your resume above everybody else that's putting in a resume with the same sort of experience. I would say that is the number one most important thing.
So let's say that they, the resume was good enough to where they got through that first bit. So now the resume is picked up by yourself as a recruiting manager, or and you decided to introduce them to the company because you felt that they were a good fit. So it made sense to take them to that side or that far along down the process. So what's their next step in preparation?
Number two most important thing to remember is to dress professionally. So many interviewees that come in are very poorly dressed, and their mannerisms are not business professional. It doesn't matter how much talent they have. If I don't feel comfortable representing you, I'm not going to do it. That's just how the industry works, because we don't want to mess with the relationship with the client. That's usually more important than the relationship with a candidate. So just making sure that even though this is a kind of like an informal interview that the candidate has with us, we want to see that they're 100% professional, dressed in business attire, making sure that they have sent the documents that we need, including their resumes, their CV, references, completed things on time. Those are all important things, because these are all metrics that we look at just to see, is this a person that I can rely on to make sure that when I send this person into to meet the hiring manager of company X, they're not going to let me down. They're not going to keep me from getting future business from this company. Another thing that's easy to forget, a lot of candidates don't consider this, is how important it is to build a relationship with first the receptionist, because we do go to the receptionist and ask, so how did this person approach you? Did this person ask you your name, shake hands with you, show you respect? Were they late? So get to know the receptionist very, very well. And number two, take some time, go on LinkedIn, do some Google searches, do whatever it takes to do a little bit of research on the people that are going to be interviewing you. So know their backgrounds, know where they come from, what their strengths are, what their hobbies are, what they like to do. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how much talent you have. If the person that's interviewing you doesn't like you for any reason, they're not going to say yes to you. So just getting to know them a little bit about them and bringing some of those things up in a conversation, like favorite books, favorite movies, things of that type, where they went to school, and being able to relate to the people that are interviewing you will set you apart miles and miles from every other candidate that's going to be interviewing for that same position. So I would say those are definitely top couple of things that candidates usually forget about.
Man, that's awesome, Rafi. And so if somebody's listening to this and they want more information on Robert Half Technology because they're an employer and they're looking to hire you to find talent, or they're candidates and they're thinking about, if obviously they want a job and they're thinking about leaving a current employer, what's the best way for them to follow up?
They can just email me directly. I represent the entire technology section of Robert Half, at least in the greater Memphis area. And my email is rafi.chowdhury@rht.com, and that's spelled RAFI.CHOWDHURY@RHT.com.
Fantastic. Well, hey, Rafi, been really good catching up with you, and really excited to hear about the work you're doing over at Robert Half Technology to work with top talent. And so great stuff there. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. We got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, do all those great things we do to support our podcasters. I really do appreciate it. And Rafi, thanks again for coming to the show.
Thank you again so much for having me, Adam.